we are going to look at the directory structure into the Linux system and how we can create a directory or file and how we can navigate through those directories. Okay, so in the Linux system, uh, the directory structure is pretty well structured, right? As you have seen in other operating systems such as in Windows, there may be some drives like C drive, D drive, E drive, and those drives may have their own directory structures. Okay. But in Linux, there is only one directory structure, and in the Linux system, this directory structure starts from the basic root directory, right? If I say the root directory such as this in my screen, as you can see, if I write one command that is called the pwd, and this command stands for print working directory. That means the current directory or the folder that I am in, which this command will print out that directory. So if I do this, then it will just simply print a slash, and in Linux system this means that I am in the root directory. Everything will start from this root directory. Okay, so there is another command that is called the ls command. If I do the ls command, this command stands for list the contents of the current working directory. If I do ls, then it will print out like this. So these are all the directories under this root directory, right? So bin, boot, dev, etc, home, lib, these are all directories, and these or files, there may be some files in here also, but the thing that I'm trying to say is that everything in Linux starts from a root directory. It's like a tree, and the tree starts from a root, so this also starts from this root, which is this slash. And in this you have learned till now the two commands, that is the pwd, which prints out the current working directory, and the ls command, which prints out the commands, the folders that are contained in my current working directory, right? Okay, so if you want to go from one directory to another directory, such as you have done in GUI, graphical user interface, that if you want to go from one directory to another directory, you just click the back button and then double click the folder that you want to go to, right? So that can also be done from the command line, and for that the command is called the cd, which stands for change the directory, right? So the cd command does that, cd, and then you give the directory where you want to go. Like if I want to go to the home directory, then I'll say cd to home, and this will take me to the home directory. As you can see in my prompt that at first it was like this, but when I changed my directory to home, then it suddenly changed, right? So I'm in my, if I do pwd, then it will print out my current location, right? Then if I do ls, then it will print out all the folders or file content in this home directory. Right now I don't have any files or folders in my home directory, so let's create a new folder, brand new folder in this home directory. And to create a folder, we are going to use a command that is called the mkdir, which stands for make directory, right? So if I do mkdir, and if I specify the folder that I'm going to create, then that folder may be like test, right? If I do enter, then again if I do ls, then you will see that previously there was no folder or directory in the home folder, but after executing this command, we can see that this new folder test has been created inside our home directory, right? So again, if I want to change, right now I am in the home directory, inside my home directory. If I want to go to this test directory, and the test directory is inside my home directory, then I'll do just cd to test, enter. Then as you can see, my prompt is being changed this like this, right? So if I do pwd, then I am inside my root, there is a folder home, and inside the home there is a folder called test. So I am in this path, in this directory, inside this test directory, right? So we have, till now we have learned three new commands, that is pwd, which stands for print working directory. This will give me the current working directory that I am in. Then the second command is ls, which prints out the folders or files inside any folder. Right now I don't have any files or folders in my test directory, so this will print nothing, right? And this ls command has many other useful things that we'll be discussing later. Right now you just need to understand that this ls stands for list out the folders or files, right? And we have also created a folder and used the command like mkdir, which stands for make the directory. And we used the cd command, which stands for change working directory. So these 4 commands are very handful. You will get used to it if you try some of these commands more and more. The next thing that I'm going to explain is that if currently I am in my test directory, right, and this test directory is inside my home directory, right? So if you want to go to your root directory, then for that you will just specify cd space, the root stands for this sign. Root is represented by the slash sign. So if I do cd slash, then it will take me again to my root directory, right? And there is also another symbol, that is this tilt symbol. If you do cd tilt, then it will take you to your home directory. Right now my home directory is this root, which is under this right? So this will take you to your home directory, and this home directory by default is in my machine is this root. It may be different on your machine, but I'm using this Linux terminal inside a Docker container, so it may be different on your system, right? But the basic concept is same, right? So if I again do cd slash, then it will take me to my root, right? Okay, so in my root I have these folders: bin, boot, dev, etc. Suppose I want to go to the home, then I'll do cd, let me go to my home, then ls, then test. Let me create another folder here, mkdir test2. Again I do ls like this. Now let me change to test. So right now I am inside my test, right? Okay, so inside my test I am in, and if I want to go back to my home folder, then we can do that by using a simple notation in Linux, right? So in Linux, a single dot, just a period, represents the current folder that you are in, and a double dot represents the parent folder of the folder that you are in. Okay, so I am in my current folder, right? This current folder is represented by dot. Now if I want to go to my parent folder, then I'll just simply say cd dot dot double period, and this will take me to my parent folder of test, which is the home. Okay, so if I do pwd, then I can see that I'm in my home directory. Okay, right. So now you are in your home directory, and this home directory contains 2 directories, that is test and test2. Okay, now first let me go to again in the test. Okay, now suppose that you want to go to test2. Okay, then how can you do that? You are in the test folder, and this test folder is inside home, and this home contains 2 folders, test and test2. Now if you want to go to from test to test2, how can you do that? There are 2 ways to do that, and for that you have to know the absolute path and the relative path concept. Okay, so in Linux, the absolute path means that from the root directory, that means from the starting of all the directories, from the root directory, you specify the whole path that you want to go to in, right? So if you are in test and you want to go to in test2, then you can say that cd space, you have to specify the root, then inside root there is a folder home, then inside home there is a folder called test2, right? And if you have any problem finding the path, then you can do ho, and then you can press the tab. This will auto complete your command, and inside home, if you want to go to test2, then we'll simply specify the absolute path from the root directory, make notice of it. Okay, and if I do enter, then I can see that I was in test directory. Now I am in my test2 directory, right? So this is called the absolute path. you specify cd, then from the root directory you specify the path. Now if I do cd/home/test, then it will bring me again to my test directory. Okay, all right. There is another thing. This is the absolute path concept, and there is another thing that is called the relative path concept. So in relative path concept, you have to specify after cd, you have to specify the path, the folder that you want to go to from the relative to the current folder that you are in. It will not start from the root directory, it will start from the current directory that you are in, right? So you are inside the test directory and test2 is inside home. So I can say that cd dot dot, remember the double dot represents the parent directory, and the parent directory of my test is the home directory. So if I do cd double dot, then it will take me to my home directory, right? And then I'll say test2. Okay, if I do enter, then it will take me to my test2 directory. So that's all for today. This is today we have learned many things. We have learned the how to create a folder like mkdir. We have learned how to change from one directory to another directory, like navigation. How can we go from one directory or one folder to another folder? And for that we use the cd command. We learned how to list out the contents inside any folder, and we used ls command for that, and we used pwd command to print the current working directory that we are in. And I think I forgot but that's it for today. We'll discuss other commands and the commands that we learned today and its arguments in future video. All right, until then, goodbye.